Spin it all block for some days. I got Glock on the shit on the J. Put a button on the back, my Glock, no, that's the case. On this ARP, ain't got no stop, this bitch shoot every way. Look in my closet, can't decide what I'm gon' wear today.
Alright, YouTube, we back with another reaction. As y'all can see by the title on y'all screen and the title of this video, finna be reacting to a drunk driver realizes she just killed someone. You feel me? Make sure y'all follow me on IG at the bottom of the screen right there. Like the video. If y'all got something to say, man, hit the comments. I'ma reply to you. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. And shit, with all that being said, man, we finna get into it. Let's do it.
Why didn't you stop when you knew you hit something?
In panicked. I don't know. I should have.
This is Elizabeth Pizzonia, and she's just been caught driving away from the scene of a crash.
And I panicked. I was like, holy, this is like an animal or deer.
Little does she know, this deer she's talking about was actually an innocent man.
It sounds like the accident actually occurred on the sidewalk. Do you remember jumping the curb for any particular reason?
Is that blood there? She was involved in a hit and run accident. Actually killed somebody, so.
She?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Obviously, I've been sitting here looking at my car, but I'm like, holy. And obviously, I've hit someone.
It was 11:30 a.m. on January 7th, 2024, when a professional horse trainer, Elizabeth Pizzoni, was enjoying a Sunday brunch with her friends at a local bar in Ocala, Florida. 6 hours and a few drinks later, Elizabeth and her two friends can be seen heading towards the bar's parking lot. As Elizabeth was the only one at the bar who ordered drinks, her friends offered her an Uber ride, but Elizabeth ignored them and decided to drive home herself, a decision that would change her life forever. She eventually reached the highway, and by that time, it was already completely dark. Just a few minutes into her drive, a deer suddenly jumped in front of her car. She panicked, and at the last second, swerved to avoid the deer. But in doing so, she lost control and steered onto the sidewalk, crashing straight into a cyclist. At around 6:35 p.m., the Ocala Police Department received a call about a man lying motionless on the sidewalk and urgently needing medical help.
Hey, did he witness it?
She just messed up her whole life. She should have took the Uber ride. Wanna be hard hit.
The man was later identified as 61-year-old Louis Ozio, a beloved local resident who was peacefully enjoying a bike ride home, completely unaware that tragedy was about to strike. Unfortunately, despite the medics arriving quickly, Louis's injuries were fatal, and he was pronounced dead at the scene.
Look at that, they were scooping. Yeah, because I have her going up on the sidewalk, and there's a bloody bottle cap up there. Is that blood there?
According to the witness who first called 911, the perpetrator was driving a red Mini Cooper when they struck Louis. Sparks flew as the vehicle sped away from the scene without any attempt to stop. They immediately jumped into their patrol cars, notified all available units, and began searching for the suspect, even requesting air support.
Have them mark off the scene, nobody moves around, and if we can have Air 1 come up to Ocala Park Estates, we track the vehicle. It's going to be up here someplace, and if they could assist with finding it. The car's up here someplace.
LT, I'm gonna block it off at 27. I'm gonna shut it down at 27. Nobody westbound.
Where the vehicle is at Northwest 61st Lane, Northwest 48th Avenue.
Traffic was quickly shut down, and locating the hit-and-run driver didn't take long. The red Mini Cooper clearly stood out due to the broken window, damaged headlights, and sparks flying from the car. The officers proceeded with caution, as they were about to confront the driver who had supposedly just taken an innocent man's life, unaware of how heartless the driver would turn out to be.
Morning.
No, it is fine. I understand. I've never had an accident. I've had somebody hit me one time. I'm 44 years old.
One of these vehicles are out with
I'm totally out of my mind because I've never had an accident.
This is your car. You're
Yes, absolutely.
Police identified the reckless driver as 44-year-old Elizabeth Pizzonia. She appeared nervous, fidgety, and incredibly confused. Elizabeth didn't know it yet, but her night was about to get much worse.
I just want you to walk me through, like, how the accident happened, stuff like that, and so we're just going to do a step-by-step where you're at when the initial impact occurred, and then we're just going to go from there, okay? So I'm just going to try to take notes because we got a little bit of ways from there to here. I just don't want to lose anything.
And I get it, and my panic was how I got here, so I totally get that.
Where were you at when the accident occurred?
So I was leaving downtown. Okay, I was leaving District. I turned. I turned on 27. I don't know what this side road is.
When you say District, you talking about the District Bar?
Yeah, where Mellow Mushroom is and all that downtown.
Yep.
Oh my God, a fucking deer jumped. That's what it felt like to me. It's like a deer jumped into my fucking car, and I panicked. I was like, holy shit! It was like an animal. Or deer, but I was like, no, Liz, it's not a deer. So as I'm rationalizing this, I'm like on autopilot turn, right? I'm like, no, something's wrong. So then I called my brother, told him should have stopped right then, like hit the brakes, but there were cars, there was all kinds of shit. So I was like, stop. Oh, this is not exactly how my Sunday is supposed to go.
I got
Anyway, here I am. I totally. I don't know what other word there is.
Did you hear anything after the incident?
No.
Or during the incident?
Besides my
She did a U-turn right.
brain on fire, like, Liz, what the fuck? No.
Okay.
That's
So
it.
you didn't hear scraping, anything like that while you're driving?
No. Oh, well, yeah, I heard scraping. I was like, holy shit, like, I thought animal, like, the dog, a deer, like, holy shit.
The way Elizabeth tells her story is almost theatrical. She uses exaggerated gestures, her words are overly emotional, and she adds unnecessary details. This kind of behavior is common in someone trying to gain sympathy, and it might even be her way of trying to justify what she did. Elizabeth claimed she panicked when something suddenly struck her car, yet instead of stopping or calling 911, she just kept driving and dialed her brother. It was only after he urged her to pull over that she was finally stopped to wait for police. But instead of taking responsibility for the crash, Elizabeth will try to trick and manipulate the officers, worrying solely about herself, not the man whose life had just been lost.
I was just sitting there, Kat and Tony, they own Katya. They were friends of mine, and I had brunch at their restaurant.
Okay.
And then she hadn't eaten, she's pregnant, so we told her, hey, Kat, you need to come eat. So, like, we made her go eat at District, so we sat there. I had water. I mean, like, I don't have a bar tab from District. Okay. Kat and Tony went home, I assume, and then I left from there.
She lying. They just said she the only one that got drunk. She lying. She lying.
So,
Okay. All right, so we left District, and then the accident occurred in front of the Rural King right after the 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven, correct.
Do you remember about how fast you were going right there?
Well, I'm grandma, so 40. I don't ever drive fast. Like, I don't have speeding tickets. Like,
I got you.
my wife having a turbo. 40. I don't know, whatever that is. 40 or 35, 45, maybe.
Somewhere
Whatever's
between
right
35
there.
and 45?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
ever speed.
Several things stand out in Elizabeth's story. Firstly, she claims that she has no bill from the bar, but the alcohol smell coming from her car makes the officers doubt her statement. Secondly, her claim that she's a slow driver is disproven by the CCTV footage, which shows her going at least 50 miles per hour.
She lied again. That's 2 lies. 2 lies.
But ultimately, even from a hit at 30 miles per hour, a pedestrian has a very high chance of being killed, especially if they're an elderly man with a pre-existing heart condition. What Elizabeth didn't realize yet is that police back at the crime scene were already piecing together what happened, and what they discovered on the scene would disprove every excuse she has.
Yeah, so right here, she goes up on the curve right here. Yeah, right about there. She jumps the curb right there. She goes. Where's glass? Oh, that's fucking plastic. Those are a kickstand. Yeah, I'd say we're right on top of the point. Yeah, I think the point of impact's gonna be somewhere right in here.
What police discovered at the crash site clearly contradicts Elizabeth's previous statements. The crash did not occur on the highway. Elizabeth jumped a curb, hit Lewis, and continued driving on the sidewalk for nearly 10 yards. The officers decided
3 lies.
it was time to break the devastating news to Elizabeth, but not before asking one simple yet damning question.
It sounds like the accident actually occurred.
Alright, bro, come on.
Sidewalk. Do you remember jumping the curb for any particular reason?
No.
Is there something that jumped out in
4 lies.
front of you tried to avoid, or something along those lines? You don't remember jumping the curb?
No, I don't remember jumping a curb.
Stop lying.
And obviously I've hit someone. Stop.
No. She lying, twin.
Liz. Okay, think now. Liz has to think.
Finally, reality hit Elizabeth. She had taken the life of an innocent man and driven off without a second thought. Unlike her initial claim of possibly hitting a deer on the highway, Elizabeth insists she didn't swerve or jump the curb. However, skid marks found at the scene disprove her statement and confirm that a crash did in fact occur on the sidewalk, likely as a result of her attempting to avoid the deer. But the tragic part was that an innocent 61-year-old Louis Ozio was riding his bicycle on that very same sidewalk. As he was screaming in agony, all he could see was his attacker speeding away and refusing to look back. Elizabeth's attempts to portray herself as a careful and empathetic driver turned out to be completely futile. After learning that a man and not a deer was hit by her car, not once did Elizabeth ask about the innocent man's well-being. To make matters worse, Elizabeth will soon prove to be completely uncooperative and try to hide the real cause of the crash.
Are you Elizabeth?
I am, yes, sir.
Okay, I'm Sergeant Chris Smith of Cal Police Department.
Yes, sir.
I need to ask you one question.
Absolutely.
Would you be willing to give a voluntary blood sample?
Fun.
Got him. Got him. She looking slow. She looking slow. He said that. She looking slow.
Fun.
Obviously, this is a crash. Is involved in serious injury, so it's a question.
I don't know how to answer that. Like drugs or
Well,
I mean, drugs,
drugs,
no problem.
alcohol, or anything like that.
I mean, I was
That's what our
drinking
concern
earlier.
Now you want to admit you were drinking earlier. You just said you had water. Come on, man.
Brunch,
That's
but
slow.
that was at like 12 o'clock. I don't know how long. Like I don't know what the right answer. I don't know what the answer is. So no, I guess I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's a yes or no question. I'm asking you right now if you voluntarily be able to do that. If you want to say no right now, that's fine.
While Elizabeth refused to cooperate with police, one of the officers made a visit to the bar to find out just how much Elizabeth had to drink.
Hello. I am trying to find out any information about this lady here.
Yeah, I do remember she was sitting at 21 with Tony.
You know she was consuming alcohol.
We had one shot. That was it. She didn't get anything else to drink from me.
Just one shot.
Just one shot.
We're all affected. It was
So we know at least one shot.
I mean, she seemed a little on edge, but nothing to like, nothing to scream, you know what I mean? Like, not to the point where, like, I can't serve you.
I mean, she was a little pushy whenever I was sitting there. So she looks like she's because I sat them and they were kind of upset that they had to sit on the first floor, and she was kind of.
They ask a question, everybody get the ran. They ran.
If that something happened, she's the one.
But I don't blame them for ran, bro, cause she just killed that man and now she lying about it, twin. She lying about it. So yeah, rat on her ass, man. Rat on her ass.
Oh yeah.
One of them, yes. Oh, sorry. Nice to meet you.
No, she was involved in a hit and run accident. Actually killed somebody. So
She?
yeah.
Oh my god.
So it's pretty serious for her. So,
Oh my god.
but
Oh my goodness.
this show.
That's so heartbreaking. I haven't
See.
seen her.
Why she ain't act like that when they told her that she killed the man? She ain't even care. She ain't even care.
According to the staff, Elizabeth had at least one drink at the bar, and her behavior seemed erratic and suspicious. This piece of information may be the difference between Elizabeth walking free and sitting behind bars. Back at the scene, Elizabeth was running out of excuses, and the police had no doubt that she was under the influence of alcohol at the time of the crash. After some more pressure and a damning statement from the bar staff, Elizabeth would finally crack and tell the truth. But instead of just admitting she'd been drinking, she reveals something far worse.
When's the last time you had something to drink today?
Probably. So I went to. I can look at my phone. I met Kat at 11:30 or so at Katya, and I had 2 mimosas, 3 mimosas. I mean, that was.
Here's what I'm asking. I can smell it on your breath.
I had 2 Diet Cokes with her. I mean, I could.
Unless you had alcohol added to the Diet Cokes.
Nigga ain't asked you about no coke. He said the last time you had some alcohol. What is you talking about Diet Coke for?
There's no alcohol in Diet Cokes.
No. I understand that. I understand.
Are you taking any medications?
I take. I have a Adderall prescription and I take prescription pills.
When's the last time you took your Adderall?
I take it twice a day. I took it at probably 12 o'clock maybe.
12 o'clock.
Everything happened at 11:30, around 12. Everything just happened around that time.
So
I don't like that lady.
Time you're having your mimosa, does it say on the label? Alcohol may, or
It does,
alcohol may intensify the effect?
Mixing alcohol with Adderall can be extremely dangerous. Adderall is a stimulant drug, increasing alertness and focus. Taken with alcohol, Adderall masks the sedating effects of alcohol. In other words, Adderall made Elizabeth feel more sober than she actually was. Despite denying to have her blood sample taken and later refusing a mandatory breath test, Elizabeth agrees to partake in sobriety tests as a last-ditch effort to prove her innocence.
Don't move your head. Don't move your head.
He just said, don't move your head. Bruh, see?
Since.
Don't move your head. Don't move your head. Don't move your head. Don't move your head.
You want to turn again? I'll turn.
He told you don't move your head 5 times. You still doing this. Bro, what is you doing?
Circles. I don't.
Continue just like I showed you, man.
Man, you know what? You know what? Lock her.
Left.
P, Q, Y, X, Y, Z.
Close your eyes. Count backwards from 100.
98, 97, 96, 95.
I ain't gonna lie, that alphabet backward shit. If you really gotta do that alphabet backward shit, I'm fucked. I ain't gonna lie, I'm fucked. Even if I'm sober, I'm fucked.
All right, you are being placed under arrest for driving on the influence of an alcoholic beverage or any substance set forth in Chapter 893. Under Florida law, you are required to submit the lawful test to your breath for the purpose determines alcohol content. You submit the breath test?
In all 5 of the exercises, Elizabeth showed multiple
trying to refuse everything and you still getting locked up. You might as well do it. You might as well do it.
indicators of being under the influence of alcohol. In fact, she was so intoxicated that she failed every single test.
How you fail every test? Your little ass slow. They asked you to count backwards from 100 to 0. And you failed it? How?
At 10:40 p.m., January 7th, 2024, Elizabeth was arrested and booked into the Marion County Jail. She was charged with DUI manslaughter and leaving the scene of a crash. 2 days later, on January 9th, her bail was set to $100,000, while her case is still ongoing. If she's found guilty, she could face up to 15 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000.
That's crazy. Bro, don't play this stupid ass act. Bro, let me know if y'all fuck with that video in the comments. She was throwing me, bro. She was throwing me, bro. That lady, I think she a little off. I know she was under the influence, but god dang, bro. But y'all saw the charges, and y'all saw the amount of time she could get. Shit. Like the video, man. Hit the comment section. And don't be like her dumbass.